Neji has finally made it into Shinobi Striker. It took 3 seasons, but here he is, finally back from the dead, and given how much everyone was waiting for this character to finally drop, he's kind of underwhelming, not gonna lie. He's got a good ultimate, an okay jutsu, and another jutsu that is just useless, which hey, Neji is a defense type, and defense types certainly do not need more broken stuff for sure, so maybe that's a good thing. But before we get to that, let's look at what you can get when you buy this character. First of all, you get his Jonin outfit. It's a full outfit, so top and bottom, and the skills that come with this are pretty bad in my opinion. It's like a weird mix that doesn't really work for any class type, so if you want to run this, you're gonna need to change those skills, which I definitely want to run this because it fits perfectly on my big chunky boy. You also get a couple of hairstyles. You get his hairstyle with the headband, and also his hairstyle without the headband, which is perfect because he also gives you a new face paint, which is the curse seal placed on him as a kid. And you can even wear that below your headband, so that way only you know that you are truly oppressed. Finally, you also get a new lobby action where your character puts their hand up and pose like a Hyuga. I've seen better, honestly. And that's about it, so let's get into what really matters. Let's talk about his jutsu. First up, Gentle Fist Technique Body Blow. The user is able to escape from most attacks and negative effects are also cancelled. Basically, Neji will burst with chakra, armoring through anything you throw at him. At first, this was looking really good, like this was some kind of second substitution jutsu, because you can activate this jutsu while taking damage, so you could potentially interrupt any combo with this, but it doesn't quite work like that. It has too many downsides. If you're close to your opponent, you'll blow them back, essentially acting as a combo breaker. But there are way too many scenarios where this won't work. For instance, if the opponent is doing an armored attack or an armored jutsu, they'll just power through your burst. And also, if the opponent is a bit further away, the burst will also miss them entirely because its range is super short. So the timing on this is a bit strict. But Shinobi Striker being a team game, even if you time your burst correctly and get that player off of you, chances are there's a second teammate ready to catch you. Since you don't teleport somewhere else like the substitution jutsu, it's easy to see you using it and just attack after you see the burst is done. On top of it, you armor through enemy attacks, but that doesn't mean you don't take damage. You still do take the damage. And if you mistime it due to all the variables that we just talked about, you don't even escape the combo. So you took the damage, you're still getting comboed, making this jutsu utterly useless in that situation. And this being a defense type jutsu, there are so many other ways of mitigating damage. I think this is a really bad addition. It's just worse than most of your options. There were a couple of things I was able to do with this that I wouldn't be able to do with other jutsu. First of all, it removes negative effects, so stuff like poison or speed debuffs, you can get rid of them with this. And also, if you're caught in any sort of trap or setup like wood tangling jutsu or Zabuza's water prison, this can also be a really good way of escaping it. That's really the best case scenario, that and wall splatting the enemy with a blowback, which can also happen, but once again, too situational to take up a whole jutsu slot. As it is currently, this jutsu is just not worth it. Our next jutsu though definitely has some sauce to it. 8 trigrams Hazen Strike. Deal damage to all enemies on a straight line, reducing their substitution stock and secret technique. Neji will launch forward with some decent tracking towards his opponent, hits them with a palm, and then unleashes a chakra blow in a straight line, hitting all enemies on that line. There are a lot of things I like about this jutsu. First of all, it's unblockable, so if the opponent isn't dodging, they're getting hit. Second, it's a combo starter. It stuns the enemy for enough time for you to throw another jutsu or start a melee combo. Since it reduces substitution jutsu, the opponent can't even escape out of it. And third, it reduces the secret technique gauge of whoever you hit. And since the cooldown isn't huge, this means you can keep your enemy team starving for ultimates. It's got a big downside though. It only works while on the ground. So in a lot of stages where you spend most of your time in the air, you won't find many chances to use this. It's also easy to avoid if you know your opponent is going for this, because you can just stay in the air, jump around. It's not easy to land it if the opponent is flying. However, because of how much stun time it has, it's gonna set up some crazy combos with other jutsu. Come back to the channel tomorrow to see some of my loadout ideas with this, but if you're picking up Neji, this jutsu is just an incredible setup. The first lunge is also slightly armored, so as long as your target is on the ground, you should be fine hitting this. It also travels like crazy, but since you need the ground to do it, I don't think it's that great of an ability for flag battle. I mean, if you can launch yourself off of a platform, sure, but you might not find that many chances to do this. Also, it deletes sand shields for some reason. It doesn't hit the player inside the shield, but the shield itself disappears. Doesn't affect water pillars though, so there's some inconsistency there. Anyway, this jutsu is the only reason why this DLC isn't a total failure. It gives defense types a new kind of combo jutsu that also has some utility to it. And finally, we have his ultimate, 8 trigrams, 128 palms. It hits the opponents inside the circle, reducing their secret technique gauge. This ultimate doesn't deal a crazy amount of damage. If you can catch someone with full health, you're most likely not going to kill them. So in my opinion, most times it's not worth using on a single target. However, if you are in a team fight and you can catch more than one player in the circle, by all means go for it. The activation on this ultimate is pretty fast. You press it and almost immediately Neji puts the circle down, stunning every enemy inside of it. And then he deals AoE damage, and while he's doing this, he's completely invulnerable. Opponents can't even substitute out of it unless a teammate comes along and ruins it for you. You see, since opponents are just standing still and taking damage, it's very tempting for a teammate to see that and try to help you secure the kill. But the thing is, if they get hit by any attack other than the ultimate, they become able to substitute, meaning they leave your circle and stop taking the ultimate damage. The ultimate charge is pretty average. I can get one ultimate per match pretty reliably, unless I'm getting hit by the enemy team's palm strikes. And it also reduces the secret technique gauge for all opponents it hits quite significantly. So it's yet another tool to keep the enemy team starving for ults.
No matter what sort of ninja you are, you can't escape my Byakugan.
So, just like I said at the start of the video, one really bad jutsu and a couple of decent ones. I've been having a lot of fun figuring out different jutsu to combo with Hazen Strike, and while I don't think 128 palms is the best ultimate that defense types have right now, it is certainly unique, and that fast activation is incredibly clutch at times. But what I wish we could have more than anything in this DLC was Neji's gentle palm style to equip on our custom characters. Playing as Neji and just unleashing light and strong attack combos is so satisfying. This character has actual melee combo depth, and his moves look super cool. Once again, just made me wish different melee styles were actually a thing you could equip on your character. I mean, it's already done. The moveset is there. Just let us equip this. Please, it's so satisfying to use. Look at him spinning. But alas, Shinobi Striker is probably not built to implement this sort of stuff, so we're left wanting once again. And I think for as long as we've been waiting for Neji, I definitely expected something better, especially that first jutsu. I don't know what they were thinking, but hey, at least it's not a lazy DLC like Kakashi was. They actually made new jutsu for this character. If you're the type of player looking for new strong jutsu to optimize your defense type, I don't think Neji has anything for you. If you like to experiment around with some weird combos, I think you will love Hazen Strike, and the ultimate is alright too, but not really required to compete at all. And those are my thoughts on Neji. If you've tried out the character, I'd love to hear what you think as well in the comments down below. Gameplay video with some loadout ideas coming out tomorrow. I promise it's gonna be a good one. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you next time. Bye!